with that. So,
Okay.
hey, good morning, everybody. It's Mike, your co-host of Saturday Morning Multifamily Unplugged, your Saturday morning radio show. Hey, I think this is probably your only Saturday morning radio show, especially the one that you're going to get from us. Hey, listen, I just want to let everybody know this morning that Moose will not be here. He's got a family emergency he's dealing with. So if we can all just kind of think about him this morning, that'd be good. But I am joined by with a guest, Jennifer Murtland. Jennifer, hey, welcome to the show today.
Hey, Mike, how are you?
Great. Listen, I'm expecting nothing but a ton of laughs today.
Oh,
so
no.
I hope you brought your jokes.
I only have dirty jokes, so.
Okay, good, perfect. Hey, listen, before we get going though, let me just say a couple things. It's a little housekeeping. Go wake somebody up. You know, grab your coffee, sit back, enjoy this ride, because we have no idea where this morning's going to go. This is what I like about Saturday morning. It's raw, it's unscripted, it's real. It's going to bring some crazy headlines and things to the world. So please make sure that you like us on social media, Instagram, Twitter, LinkedIn, wherever you are, Facebook. Follow us, like us, love us, please. We appreciate the ratings. Go to YouTube and watch our videos. And listen, there's a ton of free content. And here's one thing I know about today. We might have a lot of laughs today and we might have some fun, but we're going to learn a lot too, because Jennifer is really smart. And if you're an agent or you're an investor looking to get some off-market deals, we're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about a bunch of different things today. So, hey, go to My Core Intentions. You can find anything that you need there. And like I said, go wake somebody up. Hey, Jen.
Should be awake.
What?
Everybody should be awake. I've been up since like 5.
5?
Wake up.
5. It's lunchtime by 5 for me.
All right, you win.
Hey, listen, let's do this. Let's start with this. You just tell everybody where you're calling from, what you're about, who you are, you know, what Fight Club's all about. Just do that whole deal, and then we'll go from there.
All right. Well, I'm Jen Murtland. I'm actually a real estate agent and investor in Cincinnati, Ohio, and Northern Kentucky. Fight Club is a real estate podcast that we host. It's really fun. We talk about residential real estate related issues and we battle about them. And then we also do like ethics violations too. So it's informative. It's interesting.
Ethics violation. Let's talk about ethics a little bit.
Like about the board. So at the National Association of Realtors, there we have most real estate agents are a member of this association, and that's where the word realtor comes from. It's a trademark from there. And I only know that because we used to be called Realtor Fight Club, and I got a cease and desist letter from the NAR saying I was using it inappropriately. So now I know. But
you were using realtor inappropriately?
Yeah, I was like, but I am a realtor. And they're like, yeah, but it's not like meant to be equal to real estate agent. I was like, maybe not to you, but like to everybody else. Anyway, they didn't care. I was violating trademarks. But see, I figure if I don't get in trouble at least once a day, I mean, Mike, you know about getting in trouble.
Oh boy, do I.
But I like a little bit of trouble, not a lot of trouble, but just to rile people up a little bit, you know, get them going. It's good for their heart. It's good for their energy. It's good for their brain.
Hey, you know, speaking of getting in a little bit of trouble, right? So we know my story.
Yeah.
And, you know, here's one thing. So I always love this thing about realtors, right? You have to go do this continuing ed every couple of years, renew your license. And then you have to take this ethics course, right?
Right.
So, what do most realtors do? They don't go to ethics class. They pay somebody $200 to sign off on their license, right? Can I say that on the air? But that's true. I mean, it's what happens. So
I don't really think you can actually like teach ethics. Oh, listen, Mike, I have like an entire long, loud soapbox about the residential real estate industry, and I will spare you from it. I'm going to mute myself.
Here's what I know is if people really want to know your opinion about that, they should tune into Fight Club, because I've heard some things and I've heard some clips, and I'm grateful that you were gentle with me when I was on Flight Club.
I try to be nice to the guests, but with the co-host, I feel like we can really battle because, that's our job, right? Like that's what it's for. That's what makes it interesting when we get heated about something.
So I feel bad that my buddy, that my co-host Moose can't be here today. He
Yeah,
did
that
it.
sucks. He's been on our show too. He did a good one.
Yeah, yeah. So he's going to definitely miss out, and he'll want to go back and listen to this today. But hey, so they wouldn't let you use Realtor, but you can use real estate.
Yeah. So yes, so we're allowed to use real estate. And then so at the board, the reason why the National Association of Realtors started was because I think it was a long time ago, like either like early 1900s. They it was like the Wild West. Like they had real estate agents, but there was no like ethics. And so as realtors, we are bound by this like
Wait a minute. I like that. There were no like ethics.
I mean, but like, are there now is my question. You know what I mean? If
Yeah.
we have so many, like we're supposed to be bound by this code of ethics, which is what we talk about once a week on the podcast. But it's like there are so many cases, and the people that get in trouble repeatedly still have a license. And every time they go in front of the board, it's supposed to be like considered a new case. You can't go back to what they've done before. Isn't that anyway? It's nuts.
It's crazy.
It makes me insane.
So, I do have an appreciation for ethics, though. I really think that you have to behave in a way,
Yeah, you absolutely, but like I can't teach. I mean, I can sort of teach you that, but like it's also like you were brought up that way, like in a way, right?
right. Yeah. So listen, we all know that I was gone for a little while. And
Yeah.
while I was gone, I really had a chance to reflect on what it meant to behave ethically. I actually
Okay.
wrote a paper, and if you can go to my website and download it, but I wrote a paper with a professor from the University of Minnesota, and we
Mm-hmm.
just had it published in the Business Journal of Ethics. It also gets taught at the collegiate level for forensic accounting classes and sales and marketing classes. So I really did a lot of study on ethics. I took probably 6 or 8 months, and I studied these ethics courses from the business school at Austin, at
Texas.
Texas University at Austin. And they have some really interesting philosophies about ethics. But growing up as a kid, my mom used to always say, "Hey, the golden rule: do unto others as you would have
Yeah.
others do unto you." And that's what I always thought ethics was. But really, it's more than that. It's how do you treat other people? How do you behave? How do you act day to day in business?
It's also how do you act when no one's looking?
Yeah.
So like I'm curious, like net, like what was your takeaway? What do you feel like you learned upon reflection that you didn't know before?
Well, I don't know that I didn't know it before.
Right, but you
Um,
just chose not to follow it? Or what was the
well,
difference?
yeah, I think what happens is, hey, this is an interview of you, not me.
Well, I interview people all day. I'm curious.
No. So
And your case is it's unique. Your story is interesting and unique,
yeah,
Yeah, I'd like to hear your perspective too, Mike.
yeah.
Hi,
So
everyone.
ask
Hey, Dan.
ask ask the question again.
Upon reflection, either what did you learn that you did not know, or and what did you learn about yourself? Because you said you already knew it, but you
Right.
didn't. So did you not choose to act on what you know? Like, did you knowingly say, I'm not going to do it? Or was it a subconscious thing?
So here's the big thing, right? I thought I was a hero. And I'm the oldest born. I could take care of everything. I can fix everything. And I thought I could fix everything. That's why I got in trouble, because first of all, I didn't think that the market would get as bad as it got. I
Sure.
thought the market would come back a lot quicker. and it didn't, right? So instead of a 10% recession correction like we normally have, it was 40%.
Yeah, I was gonna say 30, 40. Okay.
Instead of 17 or 18 months, it lasted 7 or 8 years. And there's still some people today that are affected by it, right?
Yeah.
So, so those were two things. But here's the. So I knew this before. There's two ways you can lie. Okay, one is you can lie by lying and saying, "Oh, I wasn't out with her." You must have.
Look at me.
Somebody else must have saw that. Yeah, that wasn't me. Okay, so you can lie by like that, or you can lie by omission.
Yeah, that's the
And
most
what I
common
did.
lie.
That's what I did. And I never thought that omission was really bad. Hey, listen, if I don't tell you and you don't know, who cares, right? But really, when it comes right down to it, a lie by omission is probably as bad, if maybe not even worse, than a
It is
lie
because
by
you're not being upfront, but that also deals with a lot of, we're getting way off topic.
Man, are we? We're out there. Gee.
But like, I've noticed a trend like in people, and that most people don't live in a reality, which lying by omission allows you to stay in your illusion. Like you cannot be in reality when you omit things, because you're justifying it to yourself and you're justifying it in your head. So like, but this is like the human condition. It's
Right.
insane. Like so many people we do it to ourselves every day.
Yeah. So, so listen, I want to shift gears and kind of go back a little bit to you, if we can.
Talk about real estate.
Yeah, let's talk about real estate. But listen, I think this is a great conversation too, though. Ethics.
Yeah.
Ethics is a great conversation. We can come back and visit this too. I don't think it's a problem.
It is good because it does affect us in everything that we do, right? Like the way that we think subconsciously, it affects our behaviors, which affects how we interact with people, especially like our tenants, everybody, but like as it relates to real estate, our clients, our tenants, or whatever, right?
Right. Yeah. You know what it causes you to do when you really are behaving ethically? It causes you not to bend the truth. You can't bend it at all.
You're straight. Like you're just very, people like, not if nobody's perfect, right? But like, I don't know how to say it. Like people say, they call it like, you're more assertive, you're just more direct. Like it just is what it is. Like they're facts, you know?
So, what about the word integrity? How does that play in? I mean, is that part of it? Is that what ethics is? Because you said something interesting. You said it's who you are when nobody's watching. So is that what integrity is?
I think integrity is a word that has gotten off track. It's now more of like, to me, integrity is tossed around too much. But like, I think it's really about, you have to be in line with like yourself. Who am I as a person? What do I stand for? And people should be able to know that without you talking. It should be through I feel it's through actions.
So, when we talk about ethics and we talk about integrity, let's think back to what happened. If you look at 2007, 2000, even the end of 2006, but 2007 going into 2008, the greed, the inconsistency in the market, the bad paper, you could walk into a lender. You could walk into a lender, and Jen, I could tell you, hey, I make $250,000 a year. You'd never check, and you'd give me a loan. You'd give me a loan for 125 to 130% of the property value because the market was doing this, and you thought it was going to continue. We all thought it was going to continue.
Right.
I bought property going up. I bought property at such a high rate that caused instability in my company and my business.
Right.
But do you see any of that happening again today? What do you see?
I see a little bit. I think it's on a smaller scale. And sometimes it's like a little bit more like the other way, right? Like,
could I ask a quick question?
Yeah.
Jennifer, how long have you been in real estate? I'm sorry I missed the beginning.
Oh, we didn't actually get into that.
Oh, Did you go through the first cycle in 2007?
I started in 2008 and I wholesaled short sales.
Okay.
So I
Sorry,
was
Mike.
helping to clean up the mess, and I was a beneficiary of investors whose I was liquidating their portfolios.
Okay, thanks.
I mean, I got a ton of investment property that way. And it was sad, but it was also helpful to them because I was doing a short sale instead of foreclosure, which is like considered better for their credit, and it makes them feel a little bit like they're more in control and things like that.
I went through a foreclosure, so I know too.
So yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, so I think now it's kind of like it's a weird thing, because if you had experienced it during the time, you don't want to go back there, like almost like PTSD. Or like about it, right? So like I feel like sometimes on residential stuff, like the appraisers will appraise things, like we'll have it like, because right now the prices are pretty high on residential, on like on everything residential. So the prices are high, but the appraisals are starting to come in low because I think they're starting to remember and get twitches. They're like, we're not going to do that again.
Well, here, this is interesting, right? So if you buy a property today at 100, if a property is listed for 100,000, and the typical buyer's going in at 125, 130, and then they're saying, hey, if it doesn't appraise, I'm going to put up another 10 to cover the gap.
Yeah, they pay the gap. We've seen $100,000 gaps.
Unbelievable.
It's insanity.
I don't know, but listen, I'm gun shy. And I'm a little bit concerned about where we're going to go. So, if you're to look at this marketplace right now, and you're a buyer and you go buy a house for yourself that you're going to live in, and you pay 25 or 30% more than what the house is worth,
or 50%, right? But it's not what will happen. What I think will happen, because I've already started to see legislation about this, is that they are now allowing single family homes to turn into multifamilies. There's some restrictions, but they're allowing it in a lot of areas, especially I just did an interview with somebody on this, especially in areas where it's not affordable. So you have affordable housing, then you have workforce housing, which workforce housing is people that make, if you take the average income, they make between 80% and like 140%. So they're not affordable, but they also can't afford like where they live. So like Miami, New York, Chicago, like these places. So you'll have single family house that now is going to be turned into like a 3-family. So that's what happened. We'll see fractional selling, where you can own a fraction of a house, which is in and of itself, it's going to be problematic, but that has to be where part of this goes, because there's only so much land also.
So fractional selling, does that mean you and I could buy a house together in Denver, and I could go there and spend some time, you could go there and spend some time?
We would own like half a house. You could make it like a duplex.
Interesting.
But it's only one house. So like maybe it only has one door, but when you go in, it's like 2.
Huh. I live in a place right now that it'd be kind of cool to do that. Could get 3 places out of it.
It's kind of, the idea sounds cool, but expand it out. So look at your entire neighborhood. What if all the houses were like that? Like, can you think about the drain on the sewer system, the drain on, just the traffic patterns? Like, I don't know. With every pro, there's a con.
Yeah. So listen, let's just talk about your show real quick. So we do this thing called the Real Estate Fight Club. Talk about that a little bit. Talk about how that layout works and how that whole thing works.
So the Real Estate Fight Club is a podcast. It's found everywhere there's podcasts, and we do 2 shows a week. So it's for mainly residential realtors, and one show is talking about residential realtor topics, like should your buyer submit a letter with their offer? And then that happens on Mondays. And then on Wednesdays, a show comes out that talks about ethics violations, because we have a special committee as realtors that if a customer or a client or a realtor tells on somebody like they were behaving unethically, they go before like a board. the key is if they tell, because they don't usually
Right.
tell. So the amount of cases that we have where people actually told is probably 10% of like, probably not. I mean, I don't know the percentage, but like, it's a lot smaller percentage than what actually happens, which is how we got started on the topic of ethics. And then I also do on my YouTube channel a lot of videos with other people that are licensed or in the industry talking about different topics like what we're talking about here with fractional selling, things like that.
So let me ask you this. What has been the most controversial, and maybe that's not a good word, but maybe it is. What's been the most controversial topic that you've talked about on Fight Club?
It depends on who you are. So most of the audience disagrees with me, but my caveat is that we're in the top 1.5% of real estate agents in the country. So we sell a lot of business. So then I'm gonna assume that most agents only sell like 5 houses a year. So like, not to be a dick, but I don't care if they disagree with me.
Yeah, right. So that's the attitude I had too, because I sold a lot of houses when I sold real estate.
Exactly.
Right? So, and I like that. So, hey, you know what's funny is I'm coaching somebody the other day, and we were talking about, and this is somebody who I don't coach, right? But she's come to a couple of my events, and you know, she's a realtor, and she really likes one specific niche, which is land, right? And I like land.
Good. Damn, she should buy all the land.
Right.
Buy it all.
Here's the deal. Land can be an alligator, right? Because you pay taxes on something that's not there. You don't have income coming from it. But here's what I like about land is God's not making any more.
Exactly.
So
Mexico City was built on water. Like you just buy the damn land.
Right. So anyhow, so I'm talking to her on the phone the other day. Here's what she says. Hey, you know, it's interesting to me that you're talking to me about using scripts, because somebody else that coaches me says that I shouldn't use scripts when I prospect.
Everything you say is a script.
I said, what? I said, where did they get that information? I said, I've been in real estate 30 years. I said, I always use a script.
Yeah.
Except when I'm talking to you on this show.
But this is kind of a script, right? So like these are conversations that we have. Everybody uses a script all the time. That's why your spouse and your friends can finish what you're going to say. They know what you're going to say because you say the same shit. So if you're calling people that you don't know and you're trying to get business from them and you don't have the level of business that you want, then what you're saying, it doesn't work and it's stupid. So let me tell you what to say. Maybe not stupid. That's harsh. That's why people don't like me.
Well, I don't know. It's worth saying. Can we say stupid or shit on this show? I mean, really?
Stupid. Oh man, it's not. We'll just say it's not working. Oh, thank you, Angel. So it's not working. So if you want to change your results, you have to change what you're doing. So we can make the script sound like you, but like what you're saying doesn't work. So stop it. Have you seen that old what's that Bob Newhart, the Stop It video?
No.
Have you seen? Oh my God, it's so funny. It's like, so Bob Newhart's a therapist and all of his,
Oh, I did see this.
Yeah. And the lady's like, I have a problem. And she's like, why is it only $5? He's like, it's only $5. And then she says his problems. Yeah, I think it's from the Newhart show. She says Newhart. Thank you. She says her problems and he's just like, stop it. And I was like, that's perfect. That's all you have to do. Right. You want to lose weight? Stop eating Doritos. Stop it.
Hey, that's what Tony Robbins has said for years. Interrupt somebody's pattern. Stop. Yeah. Just stop it. Right? So it's kind of funny, actually. So
Tony Robbins is awesome.
Oh God, I love.
Did you walk on fire?
I did. Did you?
I've never been.
Oh my God, that was probably one of the first live seminar events I ever went to. This was before real estate training. This was before real estate, and it was like the coolest thing, you know.
That'd be fun.
When you think about it, you know, he put you in this room with 3,000 or 4,000 other people, and then he says, hey, find some room, and he's got you laying on the floor, kind of going into this meditative place and get you all fired up, and then you go outside and these coals, and it's like you walk past it and it's like hot. You go, holy crap,
Right.
and then you walk on these coals, and as long as you don't run, as long as you don't stumble, you'll be fine. But as soon as
Really?
you run and you knock that stuff up and it lands on the top of your feet, you're dead. But it's interesting though. You should try it. If if he ever goes back to live stuff again and does
Yeah.
that event, that's part of the Unlimited Power Workshop.
Yeah, I heard it's awesome. I just haven't been.
Yeah, it is. Have you done any of his online stuff here recently?
I've never done anything.
Oh God, you should. I hate saying to anybody you should, but it's really interesting.
It's worth it. I've heard that. Yeah, I'll check it out.
So anyhow, back to the girl with the script, right?
Mhm.
So we went over a couple of scripts on the phone, and she goes, "Man, I can really understand how this would work." I said, "Yeah, well, because it's methodical, right? You're really engaging the person in the
Well,
whole
and they have
goal."
NLP in them too, a lot of them.
Yes, right. So, hey,
That's good.
let me
You
just
think she'll do it?
say it again.
You think she'll do it? Are we taking bets?
Oh yeah, no, she will. She'll do them. Yeah.
Okay.
You know why? Here's why she will, because she wants to get better at what she's doing.
Good.
Yeah, she wants to get better at what she's doing.
Good.
So what do you see as as the best investment out there today?
I think it depends on what you want, right? Like, it depends on what your goals are for sure. So that's kind of hard. You're gonna hate me, but I sold all my multifamilies and I have single families.
Wow. Why?
Well, like I said, it depends on your goals. So I like to have a quiet, simple life.
Okay.
And my multifamilies were giving me a giant headache. So I was like, F it.
You
And
should,
now,
for a quiet, simple life, there'd be passive investing, right, Angel? So if somebody passively invests, that should give them a quiet,
yeah,
simple life.
that's my next move. So I have my one more away from my goal, which I'll get this year, of the amount of like actual homes, and then I'll do more passive stuff.
So I look at investing like this, right? A couple of different ways. I
Mhm.
really like multifamily because it's easier to scale. There's
Right.
more
That's fair.
more potential that you have in it, right? For growth and
Right.
income increase. And
Mhm.
here's what I don't like about single family is
Mhm.
if somebody doesn't live there, it's painful to pay that mortgage payment every month by myself.
I
And
understand that, but like I get it. And it's more roofs and all this stuff. Like I totally understand that. But most of my tenants live there for like a long time. So I haven't experienced that problem.
yeah.
But I experienced more vacancy in my multis. And like, I don't know, I have made some bad investments in the multifamilies. So that could be why too, you
Hey,
know?
I think you have to take the good with the bad sometimes,
Yeah.
So sometimes there's good, sometimes there's bad.
And you have to know yourself, but like a lot of my single families, like because I'm a realtor, we actually have moved a lot of our clients and I have like I have like middle class ones. So usually it's usually has to be two people that are working to afford them. But they're not very expensive. So they rent in like a day. You know
Yeah,
what I mean? Like there's that
sure.
balance or whatever. So, um,
Here's this difference between active and passive investing, right? Active, you got
uh,
to roll your sleeves up, sweat equity, you're working on the property. You got to manage the asset, you got to manage
yeah,
the property,
right.
that's the active piece, right? I
Yeah,
enjoy that. But the passive side, what's cool about the passive side is, hey, you could get a 6 or a 7 or an 8% cash on cash return,
right,
mailbox money shows up, or you
right.
reinvest it. You get equity appreciation. You don't have to do anything. You get a K1 at the end of the year. It's a pass through. You get the deductions.
Yeah.
You get the income, and you can sit back. And you know what? in most cases, and I say this today, I might not have said this a few years ago, but in most cases that uh, you don't get the devaluation that you might get in the stock market or in the bonds, right?
Right,
Where if
right.
I'm in another asset class, I might not make as much money.
Yeah, no, I mean, I agree. Like I have both stocks and like rentals, but I think definitely the next move for me is to invest in something bigger, but where somebody else is taking care of it. Because I found for me that I used to have a property management company, and we did residential, so 5, 6 units and below. But it was just like there's not a lot of good property managers out there. So I sold that company. I tried to have a couple of managers manage it. It just was not working. So then I wanted to take it back. But I was also traveling like around the world, trying to run my real estate business, do all this stuff. And I was like, I cannot manage these multifamilies from Malaysia. Like, it's not going to happen. You know, so I just like sold them, bought single families. I like to renovate the single families, put my customers in, or like my, people I've done business with, or like people I know, or whatever, right? Put them
Right.
in there, they pay, it's easy. I'm done. They're people that like, it's not lower income, whereas I found like my multis were lower income. And with the lower income, you also have, when there's a problem, there's 10. And
Yeah.
dealing with getting through the issue and getting to the core problem is exponentially more difficult. Whereas now my single family people that pay like, $1,500 a month or whatever, which I'm in Ohio. I don't know where everybody else is, but that's kind of a lot. So like I'm in Ohio. So like they pay $1,500 a month. They say something's wrong. I text the vendor, like my contractor, and like they're on it, and then it's done. It's not like I have to deal with all their emotional problems on top of it.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. Hey, listen, Jen, we are, I can't believe how fast the time went. It's like 10:35 already.
We're talkers, Mike. We can
Yeah,
talk forever.
I'm waiting for a dirty joke still, Jen.
No, I'm not gonna do it.
Oh, darn.
Maybe I'll find you one.
Hey, I just want to say hi to everybody who's on this morning. There's been a bunch of people on and off on Facebook. Good morning, everybody. Larry and Dan and people on Zoom, Angel, Dan, Sean, Hammond. Listen, if you guys have any questions and you want to ask Jen a question, feel free to, because she's a fighter and will hold up her end of the bargain. So if you guys have questions, you could jump in and say something if you want in the last few minutes we have here.
So Jen, I'm Prashant Kumar.
Hi.
And hi, and I'll take the honor of asking you the first question. Since Mike asked everybody. So I know, I mean, I have multifamilies too. I have like many multifamilies, and I mean, one thing we do is we always have a property manager. I
Yeah.
know, and I know you said that you are traveling around the world, and I travel around the world all the time. Don't go on my look today. I'm not looking that smart because I don't shave. So I think multifamily is the easiest asset class that I could own. I mean, my single family gives me so much headache because I don't manage them through a property manager. And
Oh,
multifamily is the easiest asset class. I mean, I have two, one in Texas, one in Indianapolis, and I hardly make a call to my property manager.
that's
I mean,
good.
hardly means
Have
hardly.
you
I mean, I
been
can,
by the properties?
what is that?
Have you seen them?
No, I have seen my properties. I mean, of course I see them, I mean,
No, I mean a lot of people don't go in. Like
yeah, I
they'll
mean,
just have like when I had my property management company, like I don't know any of my investors that would be like, I want to walk through the property. Like none of them. They just trusted me.
no, I mean, what I'm saying is I own them 100%. I'm talking about my properties
Yeah, yeah.
only, I
Right.
mean, I have investors for my syndication piece. That's a different story.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
not for my assets,
Uh-huh.
my managers, I pay my manager a little bit more than what they deserve.
Okay.
And they are always on top of things, they don't care, sky is falling apart. They will be there over the weekend to do the work, and I would get to know about it month-end report. This is what happened in my property, and this is what you were supposed to get it. Now you can withdraw this much money. It is
Good.
as simple as
Got
that. I
lucky.
mean,
We don't have good ones. There's a not that many great ones in Ohio.
I mean, yeah, I mean, this is Indianapolis,
Yeah.
and it's a C-class asset. To me, multifamily gives me more freedom of time than single families. Maybe it is me, and maybe that's how,
Well, and that's kind of like what we were talking about. And Mike and I knew we were going to fight about this. That was like the whole premise of being, we knew we were fighting. But like, yeah, like you have to know yourself and you have to like understand why are you investing in property. So for you, you're probably focused more on the return. Is that right?
that is
See,
correct.
I
Yeah.
probably have a lower, I know that I have a lower return than you, but
Mhm.
I love my houses. Like
Mhm.
I like them. Like I think they're fun and I like my tenants and like, but I only have so many. Like I'm only gonna have 13 and that's it. And so
Mhm.
that's it. It's very small. And then after that, I will invest in more like what you're talking about, where I'm like more hands off and I'm just like an investor for like a big group somewhere else where I have takeover problems. So it needs to be somewhere I can't get to easily.
See, one thing I realized for myself is I have promised myself that I will not buy anything which is closer than 2 hours to me.
Yeah,
Because
that's
what
a good
happens if it is
idea.
closer than 2 hours, I would pick up the car and I'll go and fix it.
Oh,
Exactly.
see,
Yes, I'm gonna be
that's,
like you. That's
there's
good.
there's a good strategy, right? If it's
Yeah.
closer than 2 hours, I'm not buying it. Most people say if it's farther than 2 hours, I'm not gonna buy it. That's a good
Exactly.
strategy.
I
Because
was
I'm
even
not.
thinking like if you go, so it used to be at least a year or so ago, if you bought $250,000 or more in Portugal, you could have citizenship. So then I was thinking, well, that would be kind of cool. I love Portugal. We could do that.
Wow. Yeah, I would go. Let me. You give me the good tip. I like to find it. I need a
Yeah,
city.
exactly. I mean, Lisbon's a great city.
Hey,
Yeah.
I have one of my best VAs lives in Portugal.
Oh, really nice.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, we probably wouldn't be here this morning if it wasn't for her.
I wonder what one of my favorite cities is Istanbul. So I wonder what theirs is if they have something like that too. It'd be kind of cool, but
Yeah,
I don't know.
interesting. So, hey, Dan, any more questions? I know you had a couple earlier.
My favorite color is blue, Dan. No.
Mine too, actually. Well, I
Like a
like orange a
royal
lot.
blue. What
What?
shade do you like the best?
Uh, a dark blue.
You're more darker. Okay, well,
Yeah.
that's okay. We can agree.
I'm just starting to get into multifamily. So I own one condo, and I'm gonna sell that and get into a four flat, hopefully.
Are you
So
gonna do a 1031?
yes,
That's good.
yep, yep. I'm a CPA, so I know a little bit about it, but
Nice.
and I own a farm in Wisconsin. So I live in Chicago, but I grew up on a farm in Wisconsin. So I have that I lease out the land. Don't ever plan to sell that because we've owned it since 1883. But now
Wow,
I
that's so
like I
cool.
like doing stuff. I like fixing things, and so I think that I do a lot at the condo building that where my condo is. It's a 7-unit building. I just like doing that stuff. So it may as well be for me.
Yeah, I agree. Percent. If you were to sell the land, what would you sell it for?
What do you mean? What for? How much money?
I mean, would it be for money?
Oh no, it'd be because of financial ruin or something.
Oh, that's not good.
No, I mean I don't.
How many acres is it?
It's 100.
That's
So
awesome. One day.
yeah, I don't know. Well, I'll probably live up there at some point, but I'd like to have a place in Chicago because this is where my kids are,
Yeah.
and I'd like to be there part of the time. So
That would
and then
be a
I'd
good
like
place to do that fractional housing like we were talking about. I bet Chicago has stuff like that. They already kind of do it where they have
yeah,
like the underground like apartment or
yep,
whatever.
yeah. I'm looking at a building a little bit actually that has that, and
Yeah.
they say in the advertisement includes city unapproved unit in the basement. But I guess there is new legislation just coming through that's going to change that. But anyway, I'd like to get into investing more in multifamily then. Give it a try.
When are the 1031 tax issues gonna start? Like when is it gonna go away?
Oh, boy, that's a good question. I don't know that.
But
I,
they're wanting it to go away, right? Isn't that one of
Yeah.
Biden's things?
yeah, yep.
Yeah, right? That's what I thought, Angel.
But
I
I'm
don't know
not
a lot
a,
about politics, but when it
I'm a
affects the
CPA,
country-
but I'm not a tax guy. So
Oh, okay.
I'm a risk consultant, but so anyway.
That,
got
so are you, being a risk consultant, how big of a risk are you willing to take?
That's a good one. Not enough so that I'll lose everything.
See, I always feel like I can out earn my stupidity, which is not good.
I guess that's how I am too.
You are?
Yeah,
As a risk consultant?
yeah.
Are you
And
good at
it's-
your job, Dan?
What's
Dang.
that?
I said, are
Oh.
you good at your job?
Oh yeah, yeah. But that's
See, Mike and I were both on a podcast. What is that other one, Mike, that we
that's
were
an
on?
interesting question, but yes.
It was a risk one. I think you would like it, Dan. Do you
Oh.
remember, Mike?
Oh,
With Andrew. I don't know. I'll try to find it.
Andrew,
And send it to you.
Andrew Stotts.
Dots.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I was just on with him the other night. Actually, it was his morning. It was my night. Because he's in Bangkok.
Yeah, he's in Thailand.
Oh,
But that one might be a good one
yeah.
for you to, Dan, if you want to
Sure.
be on one. Because it's all about how to avoid risk in investing.
Yeah, sure, thanks. Yeah, let me know.
Yeah, we'll send you I'm sure Mike has your email. We can send you his contact.
So yeah, well, I think I'm taking a risk just looking at property in this market because it could go down, but
True.
And it could go up.
Are you getting
Yeah.
I guess it depends too on are you getting loans? Are you doing cash?
no, I'll have like 100 grand equity in the condo that I'm selling, and I'd like to buy something around 800 or so.
Uh-huh.
So,
Yeah, but Angel, if they're capping the benefits at $500,000, and Dan, you probably know about this too. There's like another way that if you make over $500,000, that it's like over a 30-year. Do you know what I'm talking about?
no, I don't.
It's called an installment. It's something. You know what I'm talking about, Angel? It's like, okay, if it's over $500,000, then you essentially get rid of the tax with this installment purchase. Yeah.
Oh, okay. I'll check it out.
Yeah. All right. Well, listen, we are getting down to the end. Let me ask you, Jennifer, what's your goal for this year, sales wise, production wise?
You mean as a real estate agent?
Yes.
Our goal is 75 units, which will be
Okay.
about 10 million in our market.
Okay.
And then my goal is I just bought 3 properties, so I want 1 more.
Okay.
And then I'll make
And then
my
you're
overall
what?
goal.
And what?
Then I'll be at my overall goal.
Okay, good. So, and how big is your team?
There's only 2.
Okay. All right, good.
And then
So-
we have a transaction coordinator. we call ourselves semi-retired because we see so much more. And now it's like easy. Like he's in Florida right now.
Yeah, but you're in that top 1% of agents in the country. I mean,
It's
because when you look at the average agent in the United States, they sell 12 to 15 homes a year.
I didn't even think it was that much. I thought it was like 5.
Yeah, yeah. I think it's closer to 12. NRA said, I remember looking last year and it was like 12. So
Good. I mean, the barrier to entry to getting a license definitely needs to be raised.
Yeah.
That's great. I'm glad. And it's the only cold call commission sales job you can have is that if you don't do anything, you get to keep your license, which seems ridiculous.
yeah, boy.
I'm sorry, could you say that again?
It's the only cold call commission sales job where if you sell nothing, you get to keep your job.
It's like being a weatherman and you can be wrong 50% of the time and not get fired, right?
I always said if I was going to be a weather person, I would do it in Arizona because it's only 2 and you're going to be right. It's either hot or hell. Like that's it. There's nothing else, right?
Yeah.
You might have an occasional dust storm or something like that.
Maybe,
Right?
but it's still hot.
Yeah, right. All right. Well, listen, hey,
Thank you.
Thank you. That was fun. Nice to meet you guys.
It was
What a
fun.
way to wake up Saturday morning, have some laughs. And hey, how do people get a hold of you if they
Yeah,
want to get a hold of you?
The best way is I'm all over social media. I'm pretty easy to find. And then my cell is 513-400-1691. Those are
Okay.
the,
All right. Yeah, we'll, oh, we don't have any show notes on this show, so do it again.
513-400-1691
Okay.
or Jennifer Murtland. If you just Google it, it's
And you're all over social
I
media.
look
You're
like-
like me, Instagram and
everywhere.
Facebook and LinkedIn, and that's how we met.
Yeah.
Hey,
Good.
our friend, our mutual friend, the uncensored guy,
Greg.
he, he's not returning my calls.
Ew. I'll ping him.
Maybe you can help me out with that. I don't know. If
I'll help you out.
I can't imagine that my story made him nervous.
Maybe. I can't either.
All right, so we'll
If
take
not,
it.
I'll come in his place.
Okay, perfect. Good deal. Hey, listen, thanks for being here. I appreciate you. I appreciate your humor. It's been great to get to know you over the last few months and just kind of watch your stuff. And I look forward to staying in touch. And, if I can do anything for you, we should do some kind of a script thing together. Here's what I was thinking, on Clubhouse now, you can monetize stuff. So
Yeah,
we should go out there and do a room and teach scripts and dialogues
that's fine.
and monetize it. So we should talk about that. I think that there'd be something good there. So
That sounds good. Thanks for having me on, Mike.
hey,
Thank
appreciate you, Jen.
everyone.
Hey, everybody, glad you were here. Please, if you enjoyed the show today, go write a review for us on YouTube and like us, love us, follow us,
Thank you.
tell
That's great.
people about us. Thanks for being here, and we will see everybody next week.
Okay, take care.
Bye.
Bye.
Thanks,
Thank you
Mike.
so
Thanks,
much,
Jennifer.
Thank
guys.
you. Nice to meet you.